Enjoying the show? You can help others find it and enjoy it too by giving us a 5-star rating or review. If you feel like reaching out to us with a question or comment, you can send us an email at mywifetherd@gmail.com. And don't forget to visit our website at mywifethedietitian.com, as well as our social media pages. We're on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Enjoy the show. It's Rob and Sandra from My Wife the Dietitian, and this is Nutrition Nuggets.
Hey, Rob.
Hello, Sandra.
This is a nutrition nugget.
What do you got?
Something that you ate today.
Oh, that could have been a number of things.
That's true.
You know, I mean, that's a long list. Yeah, why don't we just cut to the chase?
Narrow it down.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll be here all day otherwise.
That's true. Well, it was the last of the dozen that I made. It was the black bean brownies.
Oh, those things are fantastic.
Yeah.
Sanders discovered this. It's kind of like your little side project. It's kind of funny because you started them batch 1 a month ago maybe, and they were the best kind of cupcakey brownie thing I've ever eaten. They were so good. And then you did it again and you changed something. I think you added bananas to it or something the second time, and they were good, but not quite. There's something missing. And then, so you've just been trying to perfect this recipe, and they're so good, and they're so good for you.
Yeah. And
so we're going to talk about that today then?
Yeah, exactly.
Awesome. You're going to make me hungry. And they're all gone now too.
I'll make more.
Okay, good.
I just bought another can of black beans.
Perfect.
They're so good. Yeah, I took 7 different recipes that I found online.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I didn't have the ingredients for one. And then the first recipe I used, I wanted to use some of the sourdough starter.
Oh, right.
Because I have sourdough.
That's your other side project.
Yeah. And so it's okay, I've got this extra sourdough and I hate throwing things away. And so you can add it to your black bean brownie mix. And then it's you get that fermented. It's great.
It was, I don't know what, it was a combination of things that made those really good. But if that was part of it, I'm sure it was, that contributed to that awesome sort of flavor and the moistness and chunks of chocolate. And oh man.
Yeah. Well, do you remember we did the sexy foods back in, episode what?
Sexy foods. That was episode 6. That was one of our first 3 years ago for Valentine's Day.
Yeah, well, we're close to Valentine's Day.
That was there was 2 episodes. We talked a lot about sexy foods.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Check it out if you haven't heard it. It's a good listen. There's some
fun.
good information in there.
It's super fun. And we were talking about black beans as a sexy food.
Absolutely.
Because that's one of the foods listed in this aphrodisiac cookbook called The New Intercourses.
Oh, yeah, that's a fun book.
It is. It's awesome. There's it's a real picture of a woman, a pregnant belly and her legs and all these black beans. Just basically, she's just the belly and her legs are emerging from the sea of black beans.
Yeah, it's like when you bury someone at the beach.
Yeah, exactly.
But her belly's sticking out.
It's so cute. It's such a cool picture.
And she's buried in black beans.
Yes.
Yeah, fun.
Yeah. So I just want to read the little excerpt.
There's nothing sexy about that.
Well,
No, I'm just joking. That would be fun.
Yeah.
That'd be a lot of black beans. Sorry, carry on.
Can I read the excerpt on that black bean chapter?
Yes, for sure.
Okay. It was around 400 AD when Saint Jerome, the father of the Latin Church, first told his nuns, no, that is, to black beans. No touching, no eating, no pureeing, no refrying them. Well, perhaps his edict was not that restricting, but he did get his point across. For a nun avowed to celibacy, black beans were bad news. Lore has it that they increase fertility. It all starts with the fresh bean pod. Nestled in its protective casing, the black bean rests like a child in its mother. Then, when it is time, it emerges as smooth, blue-black color of midnight. Cleansed in water, it turns a magnificently shiny black, smooth like a pebble washed down from the years of wear. Once cooked, the bean becomes a plump yet firm symbol of a woman with child. And so the cycle continues, creating love and children everywhere.
Yeah, that's funny.
Isn't that awesome?
That's fun.
It's so funny. I just love that. And part of the reason is we really want to encourage more people to eat beans.
Not because we're trying to like spread love and children everywhere, but because beans are good for you.
A lot of my clients are looking for fertility. A lot of my clients want to get pregnant in the next 5 years.
Do you tell them to eat black beans?
Beans are part of the prescription.
Yeah, no, but really, you tell them, you should tell them to make these black bean brownies.
That's why we're doing this,
Yeah,
honey.
there you go.
Because people struggle about including beans in their weekly intake. And remember, we did the Mind Diet episode
14?
That's
way
right.
Back when as well, yeah.
Yeah, we know that beans, if we eat them 4 times a week, they are neuroprotective. So good for the brain. Diets higher in beans have been shown to slow cognitive decline. And if we eat them 4 times a week, that actually is really good for us and could help with longevity and better quality of life, because we know that beans are loaded with nutrition. We know this. We know that they're 20% protein, so loaded with protein, but fiber, they're so high in fiber, and the soluble fiber. So that actually helps slow the blood sugar rise, so good for preventing diabetes or diabetes management. It's helpful for cholesterol in our blood, and it's anti-inflammatory. It's loaded with folate. We've talked about that last time, just on the how to get more vitamins in your food.
Right.
And beans was one of the examples. And we know that they have very high level of potassium, which is heart healthy, and anti-cancer with the folate is really helpful for preventing bowel cancer.
There you go.
So there's just so many reasons, and they're rich in iron. So a lot of women I talk to that are in the age of fertility are anemic or have iron deficiency. So this is another good way to get some iron in the diet, is including beans 4 times a week.
There you go. That's like every other day.
Yeah.
It's one serving every other day. Yeah.
In some form or another.
Yeah. And there's lots of different forms of beans. So, yeah. So we're going to talk about the brownies.
Yeah.
Because that's a really yummy form of beans.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's very chocolatey and sweet, but very hearty and dense. And it's really like hunger satisfying, because it's got the, it just is very...
filling.
It's filling.
Like
it's got protein and fiber and low glycemic index complex carbohydrates. Like they're just so filling, and it's always good to find a snack or a dessert that gives you that kind of satisfaction.
It's kind of like a Cliff Bar.
Yeah.
In that they're not very big, but they fill you up, and they're packed with all the nutrients that you need for, like in a snack size. But yeah, but these are way tastier.
Aren't they?
Cliff Bars are pretty good, but yeah, this is tastier because you've made it yourself at home. So that adds that kind of like home cooked flavor to it,
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. And what we've been doing with them too is just add some yogurt with it when we eat it.
I put peanut butter on mine today.
Yeah. Well, it's made with peanut butter in the recipe that I made.
Oh, there you go.
There's so many different recipes. So one of them, like some of the recipes are like some are vegan, because a lot of people that eat a vegan way need ideas for different desserts, and the black bean brownie is a perfect example. So it doesn't have the eggs in that version.
Okay.
So the original version that you loved, I only had 2 eggs in it. It's called for 3, and I used the 2, and for the other egg, I used the flax substitute, which is 1 tablespoon of ground flax and 3 tablespoons of warm water.
Oh, right.
And you let that sit on the counter in a jar, and then you add it when you're cooking or when you're using the food processor.
Right. And that's the emulsifier, right?
Exactly. That's
That
the action it takes.
Keeps it all together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It binds it. Exactly. Yeah. These black bean brownies were so good. The one version had some peanut butter and instant oats and definitely cocoa and the dark chocolate. That's why they are so chocolatey, and because of that black bean color. And you know that the antioxidant or the anthocyanins from the black bean is the same as blueberries, the same one.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Super, super protective, like for our heart health and brain health.
Huh.
So good for us.
Oh, that's neat.
Yeah.
And dark chocolate, like you used chocolate chips or actual dark chocolate, like
Both.
a chocolate bar, chocolate chips. Yeah.
Both. Yeah.
Because, I like anything that has chunks of stuff in it, especially chocolate stuff. I love. Like muffins.
That was on the sexy foods too, is dark chocolate. And because we're close to Valentine's Day, I thought we'd talk about this because they're a nugget and it's got the sexy food, the black bean, and it's got the dark chocolate. And it's just this awesome combination. And it's so delicious.
It really is. Yeah. And they're pretty easy to make, you said, because you seem to like whip those up in no time.
Yeah, they're not bad. I mean, food processors pretty important for this.
Yeah. And they're moist. I remember my mom used to make these banana chocolate chip muffins when I was growing up, and they were so good because they were moist and they had chunks of chocolate in them. And that's what these reminded me of, but they were more chocolatey because they had it was like chocolate cake with chunks of chocolate in it.
I know. And I think
healthier than chocolate cake.
Right. And people think, oh, black beans in brownies. That just doesn't.
No, there was no taste of black bean or anything. Like you wouldn't even know there was anything to do with beans.
No.
Which, if you're trying to get beans and you don't like beans, this is perfect.
Yeah.
Because it's like you're getting your beans. It's a good little healthy snack. It's tasty. And you're getting all the benefits of the bean, but not having to eat a bowl of beans if that's not your thing.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's also so fun to do creative things in the kitchen if you have the time and the energy and the tools. And that's the whole thing is that's why I wanted to try all these different recipes because, well, we had the black beans in the cupboard and I had a chocolate craving big time. And then I also had this sourdough that I was going to throw away because when you're growing sourdough, it's like a pet, right? You have to add flour to it pretty regularly and then make sourdough bread or whatever you're doing with the sourdough. And I found a recipe that you can use black bean brownies and add the extra sourdough in them. So that was all part of the recipe and into the food processor. So that was so good. And yeah, the sweetener is vanilla and you can put some wheat germ in there. And we did the ground flax and the peanut butter. So you couldn't even really taste the peanut butter or the banana. The second time I made it with a mashed banana from the freezer, one of those.
Old brown bananas.
The ones that you get on discount that the store's trying to get rid of those. And they're great to buy because they're cheaper. And then you just peel them all, put them in a bag and stick them in the freezer. And usually when you peel them, they're fine under the skin.
Yeah, exactly.
They're just kind of bruised or looking old.
No one's going to buy it if it's bruised on the skin. They don't know what's inside. But yeah, you're right. A lot of times those ones are actually fine underneath. So yeah, you get them on the discount. And they're great for smoothies or baking or whatever. And just throw them in a bag in the freezer and they're ready to go.
Absolutely. Yeah. So some of the black bean brownies are gluten-free. Some are vegan. Some have eggs. Some have instant oats, so they wouldn't be gluten-free. So there's all these different recipes. And I just kind of saw what we had in our pantry and what tools I had to make them with. And that's why I just kind of took all the different recipes and made our own.
Yeah, that's usually you can't experiment that much and get too creative with baking, but it sounds like you were able to swap some things out and it made them better, probably. Maybe, we don't know, but they've been good every time, and you've done them differently every time. So you've been able to experiment a bit, which is fun. Like you said, it's fun to be creative in the kitchen and try different things and say, yeah, let's throw some peanut butter in it this time and see how that is. And, swap some things out. And
yeah. And I think with the food processor, as long as there's a consistency, like, you get the right consistency with the batter, like it's kind of like pancake batter.
Totally.
It can't be too thick or too runny. So It's got to be just like the Goldilocks, just right.
Goldilocks.
And as long as you have like, the little bit of salt and a little bit of baking soda, then all the other things can be adjusted a little bit. Like some had instant coffee, some had brown sugar, some had butter. So yeah, there were all little variations and so fun to experiment. And I'm definitely going to start branching out and doing other baking experiments.
Yeah, there you go. That sounds awesome. I'm all about that. I'm like the tester.
That's right.
Yeah, quality control. Yeah. I did a job one time. I was working at this restaurant, and I did a job, and the day that I was there, the restaurant hadn't opened yet. They were a brand new restaurant, and they were testing their pizza recipes. And I happened to be there, and they brought this plate of pizza out for me with all these different slices of different flavors of pizza. Here, do you want to try? Let us know what you think. I'm like, hell yeah.
That's so funny.
There were like 6 different types of pizza, and they were fantastic. They were so good, like gourmet kind of pizza. So it was the right day to be there.
Oh my God. And that was over 30 years ago. It must have been really exciting because you remembered it.
No, that was like 10 years ago.
Oh, sorry. I thought it was when you worked at Pizza Hut.
No, I'm not that old.
Okay.
You're funny. I did work at Pizza Hut too, but yeah, no, they were already established when I started working for them.
Oh, I thought you were talking about. Okay, sorry.
No, just a job I was happened to be working in a pizza place.
Oh, that you were building the furniture for.
Yeah,
right,
exactly.
right. Okay.
There you go. That's my other gig when I'm not podcasting.
That's right. That's your main gig.
Yeah. Well, I think podcasting is becoming the main gig, time wise.
Right.
Anyways, if you're interested in that recipe, we're going to put a link to it in the show notes because there's a bit more detail that, it's hard to talk about a recipe with all the details. So we'll link to that recipe. If you're interested, you can click on the link and get the recipe so you can try it. And maybe let us know how it turns out. Let us know if you experimented with it and what you found and what your version of it is and how you liked it.
And also let us know how you use beans because, I think there's 2 camps out there. There's, the don't eat beans because of lectin kind of camp, which doesn't make sense because the lectins are broken down when you soak and cook them. Or if you have canned beans, then the way they're prepared, it's not a problem anymore.
And then there's the I like beans camp.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, let us know. We'd be curious to hear some other bean recipes too. I'm sure there's lots out there. So yeah, share with us on our social media or just email us and we can share it on our next episode. Yeah,
I'm pretty sure that the health problems in North America are not due to people eating too many beans.
Yeah.
As has been said by some of the people that are lectin
promoters
or people that say you can't eat beans because of the lectins. Different diet camps out there.
Yeah, exactly. Crazy diet camps. Anyway, check out the website. Check out the show notes, like I said, for the recipe. We have a weekly newsletter too that you can check out if you're interested. It's free to join. It's linked on our website if you want to get involved with that. There's lots of great ideas. Check us out on social media as well. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Feel free to leave a comment there as well. It's always nice to hear from people and hear how they're enjoying what we're sharing every week. And if you are enjoying it, let us know through rating and reviewing. That's super helpful to us. It's nice to hear your thoughts. It's nice for other people to hear the thoughts too, so they know it's a worthy endeavor joining us on this journey. You can also share with your friends. That is something else that's super helpful. Lots of things you can do to help us keep this rolling along. So that's it for this week. We will be back next Monday with a full episode. So until then, have a fantastic week. Thanks for joining us today on My Wife the Dietitian. If you like what you heard, don't be shy. Leave us a comment or review, and be sure to share our podcast with your friends. If you'd like to hear more, hit that subscribe button. You can also follow us on our social media pages for updates, episode trailers, and other odds and ends. For more info and links on what we discussed on today's episode, check the show notes. We'll be back next week with another informative and fun-filled episode.